So for the majority
that
who
so
don't
annoying?
agree with Christians or, your view on how this country should be, where are they left?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
So people who don't align themselves with Christian values or views with the freedom of religion in this country, where are they left being represented or supported by this country?
It's going to be the same exact place where anybody would be left if they refuse to follow the rigorous morals and the tailorings that society produces for them. The same place that you would be left in Japan if you weren't following their cultures, customs, and rituals. The same places that you would be left anywhere, right?
Is this not a melting pot of a country with different values?
He doesn't
This
like
does
that.
not.
He doesn't,
This
I know,
does not in
but
any way.
He would do great with the
even
CCP.
Okay, so anyway,
Would he not?
this does not in any way deter from this idea. We are a melting pot, sure. Does this mean that you would import tons and tons and tons of people who thought that murder was okay?
No, because that's
Right. So
Not-
so if they don't coincide with your values, it's okay for you to exclude them. And so this is the thing, is like, we think the same exact thing. We think it's perfectly acceptable that if the majority has these beliefs inside of a democracy, which is what liberals claim they love, that if we take that democracy over and impose our world like liberals are doing to us, there's no problem with that.
But no, because there's no law saying murder is okay.
What would that have to
It's-
do with anything?
Because you said if, we can import a bunch of murderers into this country, they have the choice to murder and there's going to be consequences that you face.
No,
But
you're missing the idea here. Let's assume that you could import the value of murderers to the point where they became a serious voting bloc. They could then, theoretically, impose their will via democracy by voting in people who then made murder legal, right?
like Christians?
So, are you going to answer my question, or?
I'm just saying
I'm
that
sorry.
what you're
the
saying.
abortionists think the Christians are the murderers. Okay.
No.
So anyway,
no one
back
ever
to
said that.
Well, that's what you just said.
No, I didn't.
You said like Christians when I was referencing
No,
murderers.
you said forcing people to have these views, and I said
no.
like
What I'm
Christians
trying-
in comparison.
Yeah, I don't know
when
why.
you said, we're going to import murderers here because
Yes, so
they'll have
let's-
a bigger influence. I'm just
Okay.
trying to finish and get this thought out. So we're going to import murderers here so they can
Mm-hmm.
have a vast influence on the voting majority. Like Christians,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because Christians, you say, are the majority, and their
or liberals,
law should rule
or
all.
liberals, or women who are the majority, or whoever. It doesn't matter.
It's
What
not
I'm
a perfect
saying-
country for everybody, but
I
it
know,
shouldn't be based
but
off a single religion.
Why? Why not? Because you just don't like it,
But
right?
No, it goes against everything this country was built off of,
Oh,
right?
wait, I'm sorry. Who built the country? A bunch of white Christians?
With the freedom to practice religion.
Yeah.
And the
No.
laws you're voting
First
into...
of all, the reason that there was an allowance of the practice of religion, you couldn't be a Catholic. You couldn't even come to this country if you were a Catholic. You couldn't even come. The reason is because Protestantism is divided. They did not ever think that this was going to be a non-Christian nation.
But
none of our
Christians
founders ever
demand
thought
a lot
that.
of respect from people they don't respect themselves.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
If you don't believe in God, you're going to hell.
So?
That goes against spiritual people. Why
So
is
what?
your religion the most important out of the hundreds out there? Why
Right.
should you be heard and no
So
one
I'll
else?
More
explain.
than the most important.
Okay,
Why
so
not
I'm
the
gonna
way
explain
to
so that you
do
understand,
things? That's
right?
what I'm wondering.
Oh, I understand. I just
I don't think you
don't
do because
understand why you think
I'm
Christianity-
granting your worldview. I'm saying let's assume Christianity is the worst. It's like the
I never
worst.
said it was the worst.
I know. Let us assuming. We're going to assume it. You know it's not true. We're just going to pretend for a second so that we can do this hypothetical that it is. So we pretend Christianity is the very worst religion ever.
Mm-hmm.
And you import into your atheist country a bunch of Christians who tell you, we want to definitely impose our Christian will on your atheist values. Okay?
Okay.
If you import them into your democracy in significant numbers, and then they begin to multiply, right? They could feasibly, inside of your democracy, begin to elect politicians who share their values, right? And if they share their values, they're going to implement the law based on the values they share with that now largest voting bloc, right?
Okay.
So if they do that, what actually would be the fundamental problem with that?
Christians don't run America. Are you the majority? Sure. But I doubt all the Christians out there agree with the
Extreme
right-wing views that you are portraying that they have. Because it's not all Christians, right? Just like it's not all men. It's not all Christians. There are Christians out there who love thy neighbor, right? They love thy neighbor and they love you regardless of what you choose to do, and they're not going to force you. Are they going to sit there and because they love you, their way of loving you is teaching you about their God, right? But they're not going to force it on you.
Can I? Okay, I'm going to piggyback. So this whole thing started with why do men, from a viewer question, why do men die by, you know what? No, we're not allowed to say it, at a higher rate. And I've noticed in my adult life how men namely, and I have many close to me, who grew up in a very highly religious, some cult-like, some, deep Christianity, have some serious
Thank you, Robert.
issues now, right? Because of the confines that they were forced to be in. And as grown adult men, they can't cope. They're still figuring it out and learning their way. So I'm trying to understand how you rationalize why you can't even, I mean, I get it, you have really rigid views, but why you can't see that. Secondly,
Well, let's do one at a time.
And also,
Okay, that's fine.
let's actually do just one.
Okay.
And let's
Okay.
have Andrew answer in about a minute
So when
because I
you're-
want to move this.
Okay,
When you're
okay.
talking,
Fair enough,
when
yeah.
you're talking about the rigidity in views, how have I been rigid? I've answered every question asked of me, dove into each worldview that you've given me, and shown where the flaws in them are. That is a lack of rigidity. That is me being completely fluid in ideology,
Okay,
so that
I think
I can internally critique from where you're coming from. What's really hilarious here, none of you have seemed, maybe her, right? She's a smart one because she's quiet. But I'm kidding. I'm joking. But anyway, none of you seem to be able to do the opposite for me. None of you seem to be able to put yourself
I feel
here.
like I
Hang on.
have.
Hang on.
I was a
Hang
I
on.
Actually, hold on.
Hang on. I'm almost done.
And actually, none of you even get to respond because he has final word. I have to move it on. It's
Yeah.
been too long.
So anyway, none of you even seem to be able to put yourself in my shoes to hear what I'm saying, to even hear what
Well,
I'm saying, because
I just
she
asked.
responded to an argument I didn't even make twice. And then when I come over to you, when you're asking me this question, you say, I don't understand. It's these Christian men who grow up in these rigid households. Okay, I'm sorry, but Christian men, they're the stability of society, least crime rate.
they're
Hang on.
freedom of the
Hang on.
No, I'm
your
going to move it
opinion.
on.
The least-
I have to move it on.
No, I'm going to demonstrate real quick, okay? As far as crimes go, as far as commission of crimes, as far as being in poverty, as far as all of these things, those Christian men from two-parent Christian households have the best outcomes in all of those regards. The ones that come from the single mom alternative households, not so great.
What about the
Not
priests?
doing so hot.
What about the priest?
Well,
Hey,
with women, you're so
stop.
pro
Now, by
patriarchy.
alternative, I didn't even mean
His-
LGBTQ.
No, no,
I'm just
I was
saying
just saying I grew up in a
anything
nuclear
alternative to the
family.
He's just
two-parent
by
household
rigid.
usually has.
He's
Yeah.
super patriarchy. Your wife
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even be able to write her book or live her
Okay,
expression.
They-
in,
all
in,
the-
in other countries, in Iran, these girls aren't even educated. They're
Women
not
have
allowed
been
to go to
writing books
school.
for hundreds of years under the patriarchy.
It's okay. We'll find a thing
Feminism
for
had some of the most prolific writers pre-suffrage. Those were the best writers. The shit writers came after suffrage. So they were cruising around with this evil patriarchy who was oppressing them, writing all kinds of books, traveling the world. They really had it rough. They had it rough. It
I
was a
do have
tough
to move
time for
things
women.
on. I have to move things on.
Leave it
So
at that.
I need to do a couple things here.